The employer loses 2 weeks of float.
Or in many cases, if they use the prepaid debit card.
Right.
How you're thinking about L2s versus L1s.
Hey there, future millionaires. Welcome back to the channel. It's so good to have you here with me again. I really hope you're having an amazing day, no matter where you are in this incredible world of ours. Today, we need to talk about XRP, but first, I've got to share something that just blew my mind. Are you ready for this? A whopping 67.6% of Americans are now living paycheck to paycheck. Can you believe that? And here's the kicker. That number has jumped up by 10 points in just the last 18 months. Now, I've got friends who are stuck in this cycle, and you know what happens when I bring up crypto investing? They immediately shut down. Oh no, I can't tie up my money in crypto. That's just not for me. But then, and this is what gets me, these same people will drop money at the bar every weekend or buy stuff they totally don't need. Here's the thing though, and this is what I want you to really understand. Crypto is different. It doesn't matter if you're making minimum wage or 6 figures. You can start with practically nothing and potentially walk away with life-changing money. I'm not kidding. Listen, you don't need to go all in from day one. Forget about dropping $1,000 right out of the gate. What if you just invested $5 or $10 every single week? Week after week, building that position, and then bam! Alt season hits, and suddenly, you're looking at money that could completely transform your life. That's how fast things can change in crypto. You know what I call crypto? It's our escape route from the matrix. Any working-class person can absolutely crush it in this space, and you don't need a fortune to start. The stock market? It's just not giving you these kinds of opportunities. Let's be real about that. Crypto is offering us something we might never see again, a genuine, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The only question is, are you going to take it? So here's what's happening right now. Trust in crypto is absolutely exploding. We're seeing incredible new products launching, regulations finally getting clearer, and major partnerships that are blowing people's minds. But get this, 70% of people who aren't in crypto yet are saying the same thing. We need better, more trustworthy information before we jump in. And you know what? I totally get that. The progress we're seeing and these partnerships with brands you already know and love, that's exactly what's building confidence for everyday people like you and me, not just the big institutions. But here's where I might ruffle some feathers. I honestly don't understand why people are waiting for perfect regulations or need to be spoon-fed every detail before they get started. Look, I get it. Some people just aren't comfortable taking risks. But here's the thing. It's really not that risky if you're smart about which cryptocurrencies you choose. Think about it this way. If you come into crypto and just start throwing your money at random meme coins, yeah, you're probably going to get rug pulled eventually and lose everything. That's basically gambling, right? But what if you flip the script? What if you invest in cryptocurrencies that are actually solving real-world problems? Now you're not gambling anymore. You're making strategic investments. All you need is one thing: the patience to hold on to those investments until they finally explode. That's the difference between gambling and investing in crypto. Choose projects with real utility, real partnerships, and real solutions. Then just have the patience to let them do their thing.
And guess what? We are right on the edge of seeing this happen with XRP. Now, this next part is absolutely wild. After spending an entire decade complaining about Bitcoin and basically trash-talking crypto at every opportunity, JP Morgan is reportedly planning to actually accept crypto as collateral. Can you believe the irony here? Talk about a complete 180. But here's what you really need to pay attention to. Look at exactly which cryptos they're choosing for collateral. According to Bloomberg, and they're citing people who are actually in the know, JP Morgan is planning to let their big institutional clients use their Bitcoin and Ethereum holdings as collateral for loans by the end of this year. And there it is again. First mover advantage going straight to Bitcoin and ETH, just like always. Now, we all know JP Morgan absolutely adores Ethereum. They can't get enough of it. But have you noticed something? They never seem to talk about XRP. Ever wonder why that is? Oh, wait, I think I know. Could it be because Brad Garlinghouse wouldn't hand them a piece of that sweet, sweet escrow action? Just saying. But seriously, it's like these two cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin and Ethereum, always get the red carpet treatment with first mover advantage. When is this pattern finally going to break? When are we going to see other deserving projects get their moment in the spotlight? It's something we really need to keep our eyes on.
Most likely once we get a level playing field.
Cooler than expected CPI data leaves Fed on track for rate cuts. So here's some exciting news. It's looking like we're still on track to get that rate cut next week. And if that actually happens, oh man, I think we could be looking at some seriously bullish action for crypto moving forward. This could be exactly what we've been waiting for, the catalyst that finally gets this market fired up and really moving in the direction we want to see. I'm definitely keeping my eyes glued to this situation because it could be a total game changer. What do you think? Are you as excited about this potential rate cut as I am? Let me know in the comments below, and let's see what happens next week. Okay, this is huge news coming out of Brazil. So there's this company called Vert, and they're absolutely revolutionizing finance down there. Get this. They just brought over $40 million in regulated credit onto the XRP Ledger. And this isn't just any credit. We're talking about credit that's backed by public pension receivables. That's serious stuff. Now here's what makes this even more impressive. Earlier this year, Vert already launched their first tokenized fund, and now they've just completed their second on-chain issuance. But wait, it gets better. They're using something called VertSign, which is basically this super cool verifiable signature solution that works on the EVM sidechain. What does that mean for you and me? It automates all those receivables and gives us real-time auditability while staying completely compliant with regulations. This is exactly what I love to see. Brazil is really stepping up as a champion for global standards, and they're showing the world how you can combine compliance-ready blockchain infrastructure with traditional finance. This is the kind of real-world adoption that gets me excited about XRP's future. What do you think about this Brazilian innovation? Pretty impressive, right?
And you know what? I think this is absolutely fantastic. The fact that this is all happening on the XRP Ledger and the XRP Ledger EVM sidechain,
That's exactly what we want to see. This is the kind of real-world adoption that's going to keep building momentum and bringing more and more value to the ecosystem over time. It's like watching all the pieces of the puzzle finally come together, and I'm here for it.
Joel Katz, Ripple CTO, exposes crypto-draining scam. XRP Army reacts. All right, so you've got to hear this story because it's absolutely wild. Ripple's CTO, David Schwartz, just became a total hero in the XRP community after spotting a crypto-draining scam with literally just one glance. I'm not even kidding. So here's how it all went down. Over on X, Twitter, there was this user who claimed to be a former Uniswap developer. And this guy was making some pretty bold claims. He said he had discovered some kind of bug that would let users make a guaranteed 41% profit on every single swap. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, to try and convince people he was legit, this scammer actually shared some GitHub code to back up his story. And honestly, if you just glanced at it, you might think, hey, this could be real. The code looked pretty convincing on the surface. But here's where David Schwartz shows why he's an absolute legend. Without even breaking a sweat, he immediately called this out as a crypto-draining scam. Just like that. One look and he knew exactly what was going on. This is exactly why we need experts like David in our corner, protecting the community from these kinds of schemes.
And look at this! Sol said it perfectly. David literally caught this scammer mid-scam. Talk about being a real scam detective. I absolutely love that we have someone like him watching out for us. But here's the scary part. Scams are literally everywhere these days. I mean, everywhere. You've got emails flooding your inbox, text messages blowing up your phone, and now we've got AI videos that look so realistic, it's terrifying. Everyone's out there offering deals that sound way too good to be true. And speaking of too good to be true, have you seen these yield offers lately? I keep seeing these companies pop up promising 20% yield on your XRP. Like, come on. And here's the pattern I've noticed. They show up out of nowhere, make these crazy promises, and then, poof, they disappear just as fast as they appeared. Want to know why I think that happens? Because they probably already got what they came for. They stole a bunch of people's crypto and then just vanished into thin air. Listen, you've got to keep your crypto safe. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to double your bag for free. You're not getting some magical XRP airdrop from a stranger. And if something sounds too good to be true, trust your gut and stay far, far away from it. Your future self will thank you for being smart about this stuff.
Okay, this next part is going to blow your mind.
So there are these anti-stablecoin people out there, and they're making the most ridiculous argument I've ever heard. Are you ready for this? They're actually saying that stablecoin payroll should be made slower. And get this,
so that your boss can hold on to your money for longer. Can you believe that? I need you to hear this for yourself because it's just incredible what they're trying to push here. Listen to this.
There is no cost advantage to a stablecoin for payroll. The employer loses 2 weeks of float if they allow you to access your pay earlier. So what's an advantage to the consumer is a disadvantage to the employer, but that consumer could have had it for free if they waited a day.
Or in many cases, if they use the prepaid debit card that.
Right. And stablecoins does nothing about that. Right. And it's not faster. It's not really cheaper. And it doesn't solve the cash flow problems of the employer.
So here's what's really going on with these stablecoin debates. They don't want you getting the yield from stablecoins. Nope. They want all that money going straight to the banks instead. And get this, they also don't want employers to lose out on holding your hard-earned money for 2 whole weeks at a time. Can you imagine that logic? But here's the thing. This is all going to change whether they like it or not. Employers are going to have to jump on board with this new system, or here's what's going to happen. They're going to find themselves without any employees. Think about it. If you could give people the option to get paid daily, like they work today and get paid today, who wouldn't take that deal? People are absolutely going to choose that option every single time. We live in a world of instant gratification now. Nobody wants to wait for anything anymore. And that's exactly why systems like Swift are going to fail in the end. Any amount of wait time, and I mean any, people are going to choose the faster alternative. Even if it's just a matter of minutes, they'll go with whatever's quicker. If it's cheaper, they're definitely going with that alternative. That's just the reality of the world we're living in today. But here's the problem. A lot of these old school players want to stay stuck in the past. And why? Because the past made them incredibly rich. The future? Well, that takes away all those sweet fees they've been collecting from hardworking people who are just trying to use their system. It's all about protecting their profit margins, not helping the people. And this is exactly what I keep telling you guys. A level playing field is absolutely coming, and it's happening in so many different ways. All these middlemen who've been taking their cut for years, they're about to get completely cut out of the equation. Now, here's something really interesting that might surprise you. Suggesting that Bitcoin isn't actually money? You're absolutely right about that, and I can prove it to you. According to the 2022 amendments of the UCC code, that's the Uniform Commercial Code for those who don't know, Bitcoin is officially considered what they call a controllable electronic record. It's classified as a medium of exchange, sure, but here's the kicker. Ever since those amendments went into effect, these CERs, or medium of exchanges, are no longer legally considered money. So when people argue that Bitcoin is digital money, they're technically wrong according to the actual legal framework we're operating under. Pretty wild, right? The legal system has already made this distinction, even if most people don't realize it yet.
And look, you can see it right here in black and white.
Before 2022, the UCC defined money as a medium of exchange authorized by a domestic or foreign government. Pretty straightforward, right? Now, when El Salvador adopted Bitcoin, things got interesting. Under that old pre-2022 definition, Bitcoin arguably became money because it was officially authorized by a government. But this created some unexpected complications that nobody really saw coming. So what did they do? The 2022 amendments completely revised the definition of money. They specifically excluded any medium of exchange that exists as an electronic record, like Bitcoin, if it existed before it was authorized or adopted by a government. And this is where it gets really good. Whenever those Bitcoin maximalists start telling you that Bitcoin is God's money, or that it's some kind of divine currency handed down by aliens, or that it's this super special thing, guess what? Bitcoin is legally not money. Even Dom from Easy A gets it. He said it perfectly. So why can I not pay with it? And the answer is simple. Because it's not actually money according to the legal framework we're operating under. The law is pretty clear on this one, folks. All those grand claims about Bitcoin being the ultimate form of money? The legal system says otherwise.
Okay, this is kind of hilarious. So, CZ just dropped this bombshell suggestion, and he was totally joking around. But he said that President Trump might actually be Satoshi.
Can you imagine? Like, what if they're the same person? Could Trump really be the mysterious Satoshi Nakamoto? I mean, come on. You know what I think? It must have been a really slow news day over at CoinDesk when they decided to run with this story. But here's the thing. CZ actually did say this. I can just picture the headlines now. Former president creates Bitcoin, becomes crypto king. The internet would absolutely lose its mind. What do you guys think? Could you see Trump being the mastermind behind Bitcoin this whole time? Let me know in the comments. This one's got me cracking up.
I just thought it was great and I had to share it with you. CZ calls Peter Schiff's tokenized gold. So let's talk about this whole trust me bro asset situation. There's been a ton of chatter about tokenized gold lately, and I think it's all going to come down to two key things: smart contracts and custody solutions. Whoever figures out the best custody solution is going to be the winner in the tokenized gold game. Now, CZ made a really good point here, and honestly, he's just saying what most crypto people already know. But folks outside of crypto might not get this yet. When you tokenize gold, you're not actually putting gold on the blockchain. What you're really doing is creating a token that says, hey, trust this third party to give you gold at some point in the future. Even after their management changes, maybe decades down the road, even during a war or crisis, you're basically holding a trust me bro token. And that's exactly why no gold coins have really taken off yet. They're still working out all the kinks with tokenized gold. I think the whole system needs some serious tweaking. You absolutely have to have a rock-solid custody solution, and you're going to need incredibly strong smart contracts to work alongside that custody. But here's what I think is going to happen. Gold is going to get tokenized, but it's not going to start with these random private companies. Why? Because first, you have to actually trust the private company involved. Now, if Ripple came out with a tokenized gold solution, most people would probably jump on board because Ripple has built up this incredible reputation as a trusted, transparent company. They always give you a heads up before they make any moves. Just look at the XRP Ledger. They put out amendments every single month that have to get voted on by the community. It's not like Ripple would tokenize gold and then just disappear with all the gold. But these other companies? Yeah, they might pull something shady like that. Here's where it gets really interesting though. When central banks start tokenizing gold, that's going to be a completely different ballgame. Central banks have been around forever. They've got that institutional trust built up over decades. And here's the kicker. They're going to use that tokenized gold to actually back their currencies. This is totally different from what private companies are trying to do. I think this is exactly how we're going to get to a gold-backed currency. Everything's going digital anyway, right? And of course, you're going to have smart contracts built right into the system to make sure everything stays secure and transparent. It's going to be fascinating to watch this all unfold. I'm really curious to see where all of this is heading. I think it's way too early to write off tokenized gold as a complete failure. There's still so much potential there. But here's something else that's absolutely mind-blowing. Crypto and AI are merging together at lightning speed right now. And when that really takes off, that's when the fun is really going to start. You've got to hear this next part because it's going to blow your mind. Listen to this.
How you're thinking about L2s versus L1s, and really wrap the conversation around this idea that more and more, as we get more and more agents involved on the web, especially in transactions and in commerce, we're going to see throughput like we've never, ever seen before, like those demands, right? So let's maybe start there. How are you thinking about the intersection of blockchain, crypto, and AI as a general matter?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. So blockchain is all about programmable money, right? Like we have this smart money all of a sudden that like can leverage escrows, can flow instantly. We can move value in ways we've never been able to move it before. AI is programmable intelligence. And so when you like combine those, they're a match made in heaven. You can't really achieve this AI future without having crypto. They intersect, they come together. If you think about how inefficient like traditional finance rails are, and if we live in a world of, robotic elements and like, smart money transfers and microtransactions, crypto is a core part of that. So one interesting subsection of that, I do think, is agentic trading, where we're at the very early stages. And I think there was a big start. Everyone got really excited. There's a lot of hype, but then people are like, okay, now we got to learn how to use this. But the foundation's there, and I think we're getting ready to get into a really fun area.
Here's what's really happening right now. You are literally holding robot money. And crypto and AI are absolutely smashing together because we've got something incredible happening.
The fourth and fifth industrial revolutions are colliding at the exact same time. Think about this for a second. Everything is going to be fully automated in the future, and everything is going to run on digital money. These robots, they're going to be making transactions using digital money, using crypto. And that's exactly why you're going to get incredibly wealthy if you just keep holding your cryptocurrency. But here's the thing. If you sell too early, you're going to miss out on the greatest transformation any of us have ever seen in our entire lifetimes. This new financial system we're building, it's literally a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you've got to take advantage of it while it's still being built out. And here's what makes this so special. For the first time ever, we regular people actually beat the big institutions to the core cryptocurrencies that are going to power this new financial system. Can you believe that? Anyone who's buying crypto right now is going to make an absolute fortune over time, as long as they don't panic and sell too early. So, until this amazing transformation happens, just stay patient, stay positive, and let's all get rich together. All right, everyone, that's going to wrap up today's video. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. I seriously appreciate all of you amazing people. I'll catch you in the next one, and have an absolutely fantastic night.